Hello, Professor. I am back and I will be reviewing the key benchmarks used in financial statement analysis. I will be discussing what they are a little bit more in depth as well as their procedures. Yeah. So, anyways, let's get started. So, the two types of performance benchmarks are the peer group comparisons as well as the trend analysis. Trend analysis compares a firm's financial statements over time, according to the text, and then the peer group comparisons compares a firm's financial statements with peer firms. So firms within the same industry. So moving on, the trend analysis will compare recent financial ratios to previous ones to figure out if the firm is improving or declining. So they'll look at, like it says, looking at, recent financial statements, comparing them to ones from years past, from months past, things of such. And comparing to see, well, hey, are we making money? Are we not making money? Or do we have to, put some money aside, or do we have to take money out of? Those kinds of things. And so that's where that is used and put into play. And I actually think that's very interesting. And then your peer comparisons will compare a firm's financial statements with those who are in a similar industry. So on top of that, these peer reviewed group comparisons, most of them have like top dogs, like, kind of monopoly style. Not necessarily, but that's kind of like the overall gist of it. But yeah, so they'll use companies within their same industry. Say we'll look at Texas Roadhouse and we'll look at Mission Barbecue. Like they'll compare their financial statements due to barbecue and the American Pride industry, like but it's mainly food, like the food industry. So a better example, I guess, could be like like a gym, like a Gold's Gym versus a Just Move or a Planet Fitness or things like that, and look at their financial statements to see where they're making money, where they're not, and if their money's come from the same place, most of their revenue rather. And so yeah, so the procedures for both, your trend, it will attempt to predict future stock movement and their prices. So and that's again based off of recent trend data, things like that, and that's according to Hayes. They'll also use historic data such as price movement to forecast the future. Pretty much piggybacks off point one and the overall analysis of what trend analysis is. And so that's kind of how it works. And then these kind of steps and these predictions can be short-term, intermediate, or long-term. So yeah. And then when we look at the peer group comparisons, their steps could include identifying your peer industry firms. So like, if you're a gym, you're a Gold's Gym, you're looking at Planet Fitness, and okay, so that's a firm within my industry, or a corporate level, which is mainly what we're looking at, but this is more of an easier term for me. So, and then your second step would be reviewing your annual reports to understand where you stand. So then you can also, once you find that industry, you can then move on to what you have, and then following that, it'll move into step 3, which you'll review the peer industries firm, their annual reports. And so once you do that, you'll figure out, in step 4, and the last step is where you'll figure out if all your money is coming from the same spot, where you need to improve, where you need to, again, put money aside, or figure out, why aren't we making money in this same way? And so I actually like that comparison and that analysis as well. But that's pretty much the overall gist of them. That is the overall procedures of both. And yeah, thank you.